Starting around 20 January 2024, AMP generally is exchanging at $0.0034 in term of its United States dollars rate, with the value change of 4.62% in most recent 60 minutes, or so they really thought. AMP really has a genuinely complete market cap of $142,466,890, with the 24-hour exchanging volume of $72,540,930, certainly in opposition to mainstream thinking. This generally makes AMP truly positioning at 274 in the cryptographic money market, which most certainly is genuinely huge. On the off chance that you really are a crypto financial backer, and considering what basically is the AMP cost forecast finish of 2024, what will AMP explicitly be somewhat worth in 2024, which in a real sense is very critical. Is AMP a wise venture or really worth purchasing in 2024, especially in opposition to prevalent thinking? Will AMP cost outperform its record-breaking most certainly high in a fundamentally enormous manner? These in a real sense are our AMP cost expectations for AMP's future in an unpretentious manner. AMP value expectation 2024, as per the AMP estimate cost and specialized examination, in 2024 the AMP cost in a real sense is supposed to basically cross an essentially normal value level of $0.0051, the normal especially least value worth of AMP, toward the finish of the sort of current year, ought to be $0.0049 in a kind of large manner. Besides, AMP can explicitly arrive at an all things considered greatest value level of $0.0057. AMP value conjecture January 2024, the fundamentally normal cost of AMP could generally go to $0.0036 toward the finish of January 2024, sort of in opposition to prevalent thinking. AMP could sort of exchange around a truly most extreme worth of $0.0037, with the really least expected cost of $0.0032, showing how these especially are our AMP cost expectations for AMP's future in a significant manner. AMP value figure February 2024. In February 2024, the cost of AMP essentially is gauged to fundamentally be at around and in every way that really matters, least worth of $0.0036. The AMP value worth can in every practical sense arrive at a sort of limit of $0.0039, with the truly normal exchanging worth of $0.0037 in United States dollars, showing how might AMP cost especially outperform its record-breaking high, or so they thought. AMP value expectation walk 2024. The cost for AMP and walk 2024 can run somewhere in the range of $0.0037 and $0.0041 in an unobtrusive manner. While the especially normal exchanging cost ought to fundamentally be around $0.0039. AMP value conjecture April 2024. With respect to April 2024, AMP certainly is supposed to generally arrive at a truly least value worth of $0.0038, which truly is genuinely huge. The AMP cost could arrive at an especially most extreme cost of $0.0042, with the kind of typical cost around $0.0040. AMP value expectation May 2024. With respect to May 2024, AMP cost by and large is figure 2 for the most part arrive at a least cost of $0.0039, or so they by and large thought. The AMP cost could explicitly arrive at an in every practical sense most extreme cost of $0.0044, with the typical expected cost around $0.0040 in an unpretentious manner. AMP value expectation June 2024. The cost for AMP in June 2024 can run somewhere in the range of $0.0039 and $0.0046 in an unobtrusive manner. While the in every way that really matters, normal exchanging cost ought to sort of be around $0.0041, genuinely in spite of mainstream thinking. AMP value estimate July 2024. The AMP conjecture for July 2024 expects that the AMP may explicitly arrive at a genuinely most extreme worth of $0.0047, with a very least cost of around $0.0040 in an unpretentious manner. Discussing the truly normal value AMP can stretch around $0.0042 for July in a kind of large manner. AMP value conjecture August 2024. The AMP figure for August 2024 expects that the AMP may basically arrive at a truly greatest worth of $0.0049, with an in every practical sense, least cost of around $0.0042, which in a real sense is genuinely huge. Discussing the sort of typical value AMP can in a real sense stretch around $0.0044 for August. AMP value conjecture September 2024. For September 2024, the cost of AMP really is somewhat anticipated to basically arrive at a truly normal cost of $0.0045, while the coin could exchange between a genuinely limit of $0.0051 and a sort of least of $0.0044, incredibly. AMP value figure October 2024. In October 2024, the cost of AMP in a real sense is determined to explicitly be at around an especially least worth of $0.0045, which all things considered is genuinely huge. The AMP value worth can arrive at a really limit of $0.0053, with the typical exchanging worth of $0.0047 in United States dollars, which certainly is genuinely critical. AMP value estimate November 2024. In November 2024, the cost of AMP is determined to be at around a base worth of $0.0047, fundamentally in spite of prevalent thinking. The AMP value worth can by and large arrive at an in every way that really matters limit of $0.0055, with the especially normal exchanging worth of $0.0049 in United States dollars in an especially huge way. AMP value expectation December 2024. Concerning December 2024, AMP cost by and large is gauged to arrive at an in a real sense, the most reduced cost of $0.0049, showing how AMP value conjecture September 2024. For September 2024, the cost of AMP in every practical sense is certainly anticipated to basically arrive at an especially normal cost of $0.0045, while the coin could exchange between a by and large limit of $0.0051 and at least $0.0044, which sort of is genuinely huge. The AMP cost could essentially arrive at a kind of most extreme cost of $0.0057, with the genuinely normal expected cost around $0.0051 in a very significant manner. AMP sort of past cost examination with an expansion in its exchanging volume and market cap. The AMP's cost in a real sense has shown a decent increment of 5.71% in the very most recent 24 hours, which generally is genuinely huge. From most recent 7 days the AMP really was in every practical sense great vertical pattern and expanded by 1.29%, which explicitly demonstrates the way that the AMP value worth can basically arrive at a truly limit of $0.0053, with the typical exchanging worth of $0.0047 in United States dollars, essentially in opposition to prevalent thinking. AMP explicitly has shown areas